I'm Stree, and it's my absolute joy and honor to welcome you all this monthly edition of Shakti, Women at the Heart of Change, brought to you by GoPals, grassroots awareness and application of Desi cows. Our theme today is powerful, deeply rooted in truth. Ghar Rashtra. When family supports, the nation grows. Because it in the warmth of homes that the foundations of strong societies are built. We are delighted to welcome our speaker of the month, a woman of wisdom and purpose, Srimati Parimala Motiji, and our special guest, Srimati Nimisha Patel. To begin our program on a positive and uplifting note, let us take a moment to listen to a beautiful Geetam sung and composed by Srimati Vishaka Hari. This heartfelt song is written in reference to our revered mother Gopata, who nurtures us by providing health and wealth. Now, I would like to invite our Go Sevika, Srimati 𝐕𝐨𝐥𝐿axmi to sing Go Geetam for us. 𝐕𝐨𝐿axmi.
My name is Mahalakshmi. I just start. गोमातः नमोऽस्तुते भूमातः नमोऽस्तुते लोकमातः नमोऽस्तुते विश्वमातः नमोऽस्तुते गोमातः नमोऽस्तुते भूमातः नमोऽस्तुते लोकमातः नमोऽस्तुते विश्वमातः नमोऽस्तुते कामधेनो कामदे त्वम् इष्टानर्थान् ददासि त्वम् कामधेनो कामदे त्वम् इष्टानर्थान् ददासि त्वम् सिद्धि बुद्धि भक्ति मुक्ति धर्म कामान् ददासि त्वम् सिद्धि बुद्धि भक्ति मुक्ति धर्म कामान् ददासि त्वम् गोमातः नमोऽस्तुते भूमातः नमोऽस्तुते लोकमातः नमोऽस्तुते विश्वमातः गोक्षीरं गोमयं दधिमूत्रं घृतं ननु पञ्चगौर्यं ददासि त्वं पञ्चपातकनाशनं गोक्षीरं गोमयं दधिमूत्रं घृतं ननु पञ्चगौर्यं ददासि त्वं पञ्चपातकनाशनं करुणारूपिणि दुरितनिवारिणि स्वास्थ्यप्रदायिनि नमोऽस्तुते करुणारूपिणि दुरितनिवारिणि स्वास्थ्यप्रदायिनि नमोऽस्तुते सुरभि देवी सुरमुनि पूजिते सकलकोटि जीवजननि सुरभि देवी सुरमुनि पूजिते सकलकोटि जीवजननि गोमातः नमोऽस्तुते भूमातः नमोऽस्तुते लोकमातः नमोऽस्तुते विश्वमातः नमोऽस्तुते गोमाता जयतात् नित्यं कृषिकर्म प्रचोदिका गोसम्पद्वर्धतां नित्यं भारतीय हितावहा गे 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 गवां पूजा ग्रामे गोमातृसेवनम् देशे सर्वत्र गोरक्षा विश्वमाता सदा जयेत् लोकमाता स्तुते विश्वमाता स्तुते धन्यवाद धन्यवाद
Janvi, we are not able to hear you.
Yeah, I think
You
you're
are
on
on
mute.
mute now.
Right.
You're on a mute. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Mahalakshmi ji, for the wonderful start. Gaumata is nurturing us by providing us everything, and it is our duty to protect her, ensure her presence for future generations. I think we have many Gopals volunteers already part of this session. However, for those who are joining us for the first time and might not be familiar with Gopals, I would like to request Vijayalakshmi ji to give a brief introduction about Gopals. Vijayalakshmi?
No. Thank you. One second. I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Ji.
Yes,
Are you able to
Vijayalakshmi.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you for joining today's session. And today we are here to talk about Stree Shakti and Woman at the Art of Change. So here we are coming up, we wanted to know how we come across GoPals. So what does GoPals mean? So GoPals is nothing but like go mean go, cow, and pals meaning friends. So it is GoPals. So go's friends. So we are friends. Everyone has a friend. So for cow, we don't have anyone. So we are voluntarily initiated, and thanks to Ramji who has taken this initiative, and we are part of Gopal's family, and supporting in each small activities also makes a lot of difference. So that's how we joined our hands to Gopals. So we all are Gopals of friends and family. And if you see the logo of our Gopals, it is a cow ringing the bell. So what it symbolizes? So the logo itself says that cow is ringing a bell for a justice, and the cows are moving away from traditional agriculture practice and are being replaced by crossbreeds, and for the environmental suffering from chemical pollution. That's where we Gopals are trying to come up and come forward and help, and whatever the way we are able to do it for cows. So even one small initiative also matters a lot. So now the core initiatives are for Gopal's team as KYC, which is not know your customer, but know your cow. So where we interact with the kids and school kids through various instances, and they come for events like walkathon and all. There we just talk about what kind of breed they know. We just ask a quiz, and they come up with a lot of queries and address to them. And another key initiative what we are trying is Go Chetana, where we focus on rural sustainability and women's empowerment by training women to create a eco-friendly lamps, keychain, Ganesha mementos, and medals that's encouraging self-reliance and financial independence through these handmade sustainability products, and which these products are all made by Go products. And Go marathons are reconnecting villages with crucial role of Desi cows under Go Chetana initiative. So till now, what are the events we have conducted? We have more events, upcoming events, and the one which we have completed, I have taken it. There's Walk to Heal, Music to Heal, Go Yatra, Truck to Heal, Gopal's awareness, and Go Maya products. So what is this EEL is all about? So EEL is called like health, environment, agriculture, and lifestyle, which is an eco-awareness walkathon where we ask the kids also to participate, and by drawing and painting the Desi cows. So now if you know if you go and ask the cows, like, do you know about cow? They just said, yeah, we know. It is there in the Nandini milk packet, which is not a cow at all. So that's how the kids identify the cow as. So now I have seen in the last event, when I asked about the kids about the cow, they just said Malnad Gidda. So we are happy to listen from the kids, like they know various, at least some 2-3 breeds. So how that has been happened, it is because of the Gopals, where they have taken a lot of efforts to go to people and educate about the cows, the Desi cows. So another event which we had is EEL, initiative is Music to EEL, which focuses on music lover audience. So in the 10th anniversary, we had it in last year, where we got Go Geetam introduced, and we had a music event, and where 3,000 people were participated across Bangalore and Chennai. Apart from this two, another one is Trek to Yield. where we have engaged 600 college students in sustainability efforts, and Go Yatra at multiple places in Bangalore, where we did it for Malleshwaram and HSR layout. I was very happy to participate in both the events. And know your circle. So many people don't know even like what are the schemes we have it. So under Know Your Circle, we have initiated to educate farmers about the government programs and financial aid, subsidies, loan and grants for organic culture by taking them on the schemes what they have it. So GoPals have done, the teams have done very good work towards this, where they have taken each and every objective, how to, what is the purpose of this object and how to avail this particular scheme. So I'm not going through the schemes, it is all there. I can just share it later on. And then coming on to get involved. So what is get involved? So like we are not asking anyone like, okay, come, go, we will do this work. So we'll just, the involvement, the moment what we see GoPals doing, like Go Yatra, Go Chetana, music to hail, like that the volunteers come across to help us. Like and we drive an event like flexible weekend volunteering, self-specific participation, midweek volunteering opportunity, and remote skill contribution, and intensive students internship and expertise volunteering. And the major one comes as the CSR. So the CSR is a corporate social responsibility, where we go to the corporate office and we call them, we invite the students and they participate in various activities, getting the tree plantation drive, encouraging volunteers at Goshalas to clean the cows, and like the entire day will be spent happily without mobile. It's a mobile free and it is very heartful. And sustainability workshop, apart from funding, farmer training programs focused on organic and sustainable agriculture. So this is the activities what we drive under CSR. And then comes do it yourself. So do it yourself as Go products. So we teach how to do the tooth powder with Go products, bath powder, hair wash powder, dupe sticks, and eco-friendly lamps, keychain, Ganesha, mementos, and medals. And the kumkum prepared traditionally with turmeric and cow ghee. So we ask the kids to make it. So this is how we train them and ask them to do it. So they feel it. And then we have a go, these are the initiatives which we have, like in providing waterbound shelters for Desi cow habitats, spreading awareness and educate mass about importance of sustainable living, where we lead a life in ways that are consistent with sustainability, conducting plantation drive, as I said earlier, in association with corporates and volunteers for native saplings and grass in areas surrounded by Goshalas and villages to support the food for cows, and helping in Go Grama, Desi culture-centric villages, and prevent urban migration by creating livelihood opportunity locally, thereby promoting sustainable living and well-being of people in rural area. And bridging them, this is the main thing which we needed, because they can't come, the people in village can't come. So we just interact through GoPals. So find it out one by whichever villages or rural place want it. So we go and support it through GoPals by connecting farmers to the consumer. That's it. I've covered my things. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
I think. Thanks, Vijayalakshmi, for Gopal's introduction. Today's session is not just about listening. It's about connecting, reflecting, and taking small steps that lead to a beyond leaps in our homes, our communities, and our nation. Before we start, let me give a brief introduction about our speaker of the month, Srimati Parimala Murthy. She's a director, head Association for Holistic Education and Development. Parimala currently resides in Bangalore. She holds a bachelor degree in commerce and master's in Sanskrit from Mysore University. Her passion for social work began during her college years and continued ever since. Over the years, she has actively contributed to various initiatives. She's playing many roles, and her professional affiliations of being member of Media at Prachar Vibhag's Rashtrodaya Samiti. She's a trained counselor at Prasanna Counseling Center, Basinagudi. Her contribution towards women leadership program as a coordinator at Youth for Seva is pivotal. She is also a member of various organizations like Hindu Seva Pratisthana, Women Anti-Harassment Cell, ICC, etc. She's a speaker, trainer, writer, and content developer, and also a Veena player. I admire a Veena player personally. I welcome Srimati Parimala to the session. I would like also introduce our guest, Nimisha Patel. She is a philanthropist and comes from her rich heritage and family linkage to one of the greatest freedom fighters known in the world as Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Nimisha is now running her own venture, Rapids here. She always manages to balance her professional life with her off-field passion for not-profit work. So after this session, we will open to the floor question for answers. So without further ado, let's begin this journey of empowerment, transformation, and togetherness. Over to our speaker, Parimala Modi.
Namasarvebhyaha, Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Pranams to everyone that have joined today, and a special namaste to the special guest of today, Nimisha Patel. It's wonderful and it's a privilege that we get to see you representing the great lineage, and of course, who can never none of us can forget the Iron Man, right? So you are here today with that strong presence and vibration within us. Also, I request if someone can share the PPT as I start. And the topic for today we have is Stree Shakti, women at the heart of change. The moment you hear Stree or women, both are in different languages. And Stree comes from this language Sanskrit, and of course the same synonym is used in many other Bharatiya languages. Just to tell you a little bit about, in English, we have about 2-3 words that are that play the synonym of a woman, like lady. Some of you can message me also. Now, what are the names that you can think of a woman in English, right? Some 2 or 3 synonyms. But when it comes to the great language, a very ancient language or very old language, whatever we want, we can call, and that is Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, do you know how many synonyms can be there for this Sanskrit, in Sanskrit language for a woman? Any guess? You can type and let me know. Yeah, Stree, Shakti, of course. Many more words to come as I see. Can you give me a number as to how many synonyms are there for a woman or a Stree in Sanskrit? Mahila, of course. So you won't believe, dear friends, we have about 108 synonyms for a woman in Sanskrit. And out of them, there are prominent 35 synonyms that each synonym depicts a role that she is supposed to play throughout her life, inspiring and energizing everything and everyone around her, as a small girl to a great mentor or a guide to the family, society, and nation and universe, of course. So every name defines and even tells her that she is this person. Give you a small example. There is this special name, which is one of my favorite synonyms for a woman. Stree, Mahila, all these we must have heard. There is a special name in Sanskrit by, it is pronounced this way. It's called Yoshit, Y-O-S-H-I-T-H. You know what a Yoshit means? A person who can bring everything and everyone together. A person who can unite everything and everyone together. So this is one of the synonyms that I thought I'll share with you. And today we are all here to reflect around and share all our thoughts about Stree Shakti. I'm just here to present my humble thought process, and of course later it's open to questions and your comments. We'll move on to the next slide. Why did we choose this topic at all for today? Women, if you see, as I was telling you, they have been the driving force behind all the transformation, all the challenges, and all the growth that is happening in our society at different levels: social, economic, political advancements, of course, the historical happenings, and the emotional growth of a society and the cultural growth of a society. As our friend introduced the way we moved to this session, I also remember there is this Manusmriti, Yatra Naryastu Pujyanti Tamante Tatra Devataha. So wherever a woman is revered or respected, all good things happen there. Further, it reminds me of this very great statement of Swami Vivekananda. You know what he says? He says, the best thermometer for or to check the progress of a nation is the way that nation treats its women. So if you look at the various nations in this world, you figure out how women are treated in that nation. Accordingly, he says only that we should be that is the parameter to check on the progress of the nation. So here we are to see how women have contributed significantly in various facets as we read the name education, social transformation, economic progress, because nowadays as we are moving forward to the Zen Y generations, all of us talk about or relate directly success equals the monetary benefits. So here we have women who really looked at wealth in various aspects. For them, just having money or gold was not just the wealth. So they looked at wealth in very many ways. And again, I remember one great mentor of Youth for Seva and many of us by name Professor Vaidyanathan. So he would tell us always that, you know, the women of India are very great, are very different and unique, because it's only them who always followed this one small 6-letter magical word by name saving. If you count the number of letters in saving, it's just 6 letters. So it's this woman of a family or an institution or a village that kept on working on this saving. She ended up saving the cows or the grains or the wealth in different aspects, so the family need not face challenges as we have seen during the pandemic or during drought or any such challenging situation. We'll move on to the next slide. For this to happen, change has to come from within. So that's how we have chosen this title called Women, the Change Within Herself. So once a person or an individual, more so a woman, decides to see change outside, the first thing she would do is to see a change in herself. The moment you change, things around you can change. The moment you change to the challenges, or the moment you prepare yourself for a perfection state, that's when you can see change. And you know, many situations have given rise to women while she nurtures families, helping in economic growth. The moment I say economic growth, most of us think of only cities, right? It's not so. Even in villages, if you see, women are even more contributing. I was reading this book. It's titled Stree Dharma, and origin is in Marathi. Later, the third Queen Rajamani of the Mysore Samsthana got it translated and printed in Kannada. So the very first 2-3 lines of the preface that she has written, she says, every Stree, every Mahila is a Udyogi. Udyogi means doing something that is contributing to the growth of the family and further the village and the society, and more so towards the nation. She says every woman works. Nowadays, if you look at many women, at least in the cities, if the moment you ask them to introduce yourself, they would tell their name, and immediately they would either say I'm working or they'll say I'm a housewife, right? So both are wrong. All women by default are udyogis, working. So they are working for a cause, they are working for a purpose. And that was very clear from ancient times. So if you look at any old epics, no woman introduced herself as I am a stay-at-home mother or a working woman or a housewife. So all these terminologies, please look at the history of from where we got it. It was all these statements of introduction for us were given to us by purpose. You know, they wanted to bring down our esteem. If you look at anybody, no one feels pride in telling that I am a housewife, I am a stay-at-home mother. Mother never stayed at home. Mother's responsibility was to take care of very many things around her family, around her house, around the fields, everything. And that's how you see that the change within herself came because a girl, when she's eventually entering into a womanhood or adulthood, had to go through this change. Only then we could see the change outside. So again, remembering Swami Vivekananda, when he was traveling in the Western countries, many were asking him, you know, what is special about India and the Indian woman? And that's when he gives a very nice statement, and it's one of my favorite too. He says, for the West, the ideal for woman is a wife, right, or a lady. But for India, the ideal in or amongst women is motherhood. So that is how, even if you look at nature, a tiger or a lion, a small cub is so cared and nurtured by the mother tigress or lioness. And if you come back to where we are all hosting today, being part of this GoPals, a cow, after giving birth to the small calf, you know what the very first thing the mother cow does? Any idea? Anyone can tell me? As soon as the baby calf is born, what does the mother do?
Licking
It's
the,
a
it goes to and licks the body.
Exactly, exactly. You know, it is licking the entire calf's body, which is smeared with the liquid and the blood that has to be discarded. And that part of licking, the mother cow licking the calf in Sanskrit is called Vatsalya. So that is how we have come across. This is a new word that it is introduced from our very language to all of us. So that is the real affection. The affection of mother cow shown towards her calf is called Vatsalya. And that is what we see in every mother. And because of this Vatsalya, this very mother, a lady, she need not be a biological mother. If you look at Mata Amrutanandamayi, she is mother to millions of people across the universe, right? So this motherhood is the very nature in a woman. It need not come by any biological change or a physical change that is happening in her. So that is how, when the moment we say woman or a woman, we say it is the change within herself, which comes very naturally to her, and that is the potential she has, and that becomes the driving force for the development of everything around her. Next one, please. Now, if you look at what is special about our very culture and literature, from where our Bharatiya knowledge systems, the Indian knowledge systems come, everything around us, we either shift it in 3 degrees. That is the masculine gender, the feminine gender, and the neutral gender. So most of the mountains are masculine gender. So they are named after, like Himalaya, Himavan, and most of the rivers are feminine, but for Brahmaputra. So we have Kaveri, Godavari, Krishna, it's Dirgha. So, and then Ganga, Narmada, so all these are the feminine part. And our very earth, Mother Earth, we call her she. And even if you look at very many countries across our world, the world map, every country is a she only. America, we have Statue of Liberty, and then it's she. Only 1 or 2 countries are like the he countries, the masculine countries. So the real bread giver for us in our ancient roots, if you see the ecology, the feminine ecology system, we call her Bhumata. So like how we are here and we just looked at how the benefits of Go Mata. So for all of us, including Go Mata, who is giving us the sustenance or the shelter or the very growth of element in us, it's this Bhumata. So we call her the real bread giver. And we give her a nice Devi form. And even in our, again, Indian knowledge systems starts from the very Vedas, which are all in Sanskrit. And we have so many suktas attributing to the greatness of her, praising her, and asking her to nurture us throughout. And they are the Bhu Sukta, the Bhumi Sukta, the Nila Sukta. All of them are the synonyms of very Mother Earth. And so the moment we give this divine aspect to anybody, we will not think of we will not think of abusing it, right? So the moment we respect anybody, or the moment we respect anything, we never think of abusing it. So that is the very intention of divinifying the very Mother Earth. So we just don't call her Earth. She's just a piece of sand, or congregants of things that help in growing greeneries. No. So we actually attribute her to a very divine aspect called divinity. The moment we give her respect, the moment we even worship her, that's when we think of not abusing her. So this was the sentimental and the emotional element we had seen in our ancient, our elders. We would call them the rishis, but I would always call them research scientists, because they kept on researching as to what is there in this earth and what is the very purpose of our life. How can we live in tolerance or in coherence with the various species around us. Next one. Coming back to our own country, we call our very country Bharat Mata. Again, ours is the only country which is having 2-3 names, right? Thanks on and no thanks to the foreign rule that we had. So we call her Bharat, we call her Hindustan and Bharat Mata, then India. So 3-4 names for her. Whatever our heart asks, we will do that. But we again give her a nice, a goddess form, and very many shlokas are there that describe her. There is one shloka which goes this way: Himalayat samarabhya yavadhindu sarovaram tam bharatam desham bharatam nirmat hindusthanam prachakshate. So she is he. Here is this Bharat Mata whose very head or the crown starts from Himalayas and comes down till the ocean, and she spread northeast everywhere. And this is how green, how magnificent, how beautiful she looks at. And again, there is one small sukta, one of my friends, she lives in Tumkur, one Mami, she has composed it. It goes this way: Bharata Matre Vidmahe Samudra Tanayayai Dhimahi Tanno Bharat Mata Prachodayat. So we have so many shlokas that praise her, and we have given our very nation the shape or the physical personality of a goddess. The moment we look at her like a goddess, we automatically go to respect her, and the question of polluting her, the question of disrespecting her, the question of abusing her doesn't arise at all. Next one. Coming back to Hindu women, their social roles and how they were when during various times. Going back to the history again, I always start with this small question to wherever I take this topic. Whenever we read any news, we come across some robbery or some burglary, someone has robbed things. So where does all these things happen? It can happen in a place where wealth is already there, correct? So a person cannot rob a small house or a hut because nothing much is available. Similarly, if you look at the history of our country went through 2000 and more than 2000 years of foreign invasion. That's because we had that much of wealth in all forms, wealth in the physical form, wealth in the intellectual form, wealth in the knowledge form, again, wealth in the health form, and wealth in the emotions form. So we had very many great foreign nations or foreign civilizations that came and invaded us. But in the process, what happened? Women had to be protected. So we have seen the history. We had the Greeks, Hunas, Shakas, Yavanas, then the Khilji, Gori, Muhammad, Tughlaqs, then the Dutch, British, the Dutch, Portuguese, and the British. So all this foreign rule eventually made women to take a setback, and that's when she was not she was protected or kind of overprotected. So her coming out physically was stopped. She was confined within families, and she only ended up taking roles that the family demanded as per the societal challenges. If you see in the north, most of the women were made to be in burqa, but that was not much in vogue when you look at the southern kingdoms. So we were a little safer, but not completely safe, but we were only a little safer. So all the challenges that women had to go through started from here, because the moment a woman is not educated, then her role also, or her contribution, be it to the family, to herself, and if you go on expanding, always comes down or it is limited. Let us take a look at how she came out of this. Next slide, please. So here, like any country, for it to sustain, we need agriculture and of course, GoPals, Go Mata. And we have women who were working, and there are places where women were, taken for granted. They were made to work more, I would not use this word slaves, but they were forced to work more, because something unique about physic nature of a woman itself is she is a very skilled worker. So when it comes to planting all the grains, the small plants, she was better than men. So she worked, of course, eventually for a longer time. Now that became a very much needy thing. But now if you look at many women, they not only work in this space, they also contribute to owning lands and studying agriculture and then contributing in the research fields also. Next one. In this process, as we look at India's history, during the British rule, what we got to see more was women needed a group. Women wanted to come out of their family, but come out and go where and do what? So it was at this time that we had many social reformers. We had many leaders who were spiritually working in individual sadhana and for the welfare of everyone. So to give you examples, many are there, great queens and spiritual leaders, starting from, Rani Durgavati. Then we had Rani Appakka, then we had Velu Nachiyar from Tamil Nadu, and we had Rani Jhansi, Ahalya Bai Holkar. All these were then Rani Rashmani Devi during Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's reign, during his avatar time period. So much was happening during in the political space where we had great queens, and much was happening during the around the spiritual space. So we had great, advis like Anandamayi Mata Amritanandamayi, and of course, much from them, if you go towards Andal and then Mirabai, and from Karnataka it was Akka Mahadevi. At a very young age, they saw a lot of philosophy in life. So they did not even take up to the regular married, the grihasthashrama. They directly went from their youthhood to becoming sadhvi, pursuing their philosophical path, the spiritual path. Same time, we had this one great lady by name Lakshmi Bai Kelkar. So this was during the time where we were still ruled by the British. She started an organization called Rashtra Sevika Samiti. So she felt that women should serve the nation, Rashtra. So they should feel that they have to offer their service, not just to families. They have to expand their horizon and start to contribute to the growth of the nation. Again, many kept asking her, if you look at her very own life, she was born in 1905. And that was again the time where she used to go to only 1 or 2 schools, and she lived in this small place called Wardha near Nagpur. But she was very particular. She got married at the age of 14 years. And then she insisted to her parents that she will never marry a man who will take dowry. And it was so difficult for them to search for such a person. And eventually they had to compromise to getting her married. Her birth name was Kamala. So eventually they compromised to getting Kamala married to this great advocate called Purushottam Rao Kelkar. But he was already married and he had lost his wife. He had 2 small children, but she agreed to marry him. And later she goes on to having her own 6 sons, and she used to send her son to another organization called Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, where the young minds were taught to respect our country. The moment she saw all these changes, she felt even women need this. And she used to attend most of the talks by Mahatma Gandhi. And once she and her sister-in-law, they go and even meet Gandhi and ask him, आप हर बार हर लड़की को सीता बननी है बोलते हो, क्यों आप किसी लड़के को राम बनना है ऐसा नहीं बोलते हो? That's the question she had. And that's when it seems Mahatma Gandhi ji goes to answer her. He says, अगर हर लड़की सीता बन जाती है तो राम अपने आप बन जाता है. So this inspired her, and she started reading Ramayana originally in Marathi, and then she got this translated to Hindi. And at the age of, I would say 29 or 30 years, she loses her husband, because that was the time where India went through a lot of pandemic diseases like cholera. So he could not be treated. Now she's a very young widow with 8 children, and she had a sister-in-law who supported her. So she started the first school for girls in her town by name Wardha. And she even let go of her very own house, a small room, dedicated it. And she said, my 2 daughters are the first students. And even now that school is up and running. So in this direction, she felt that women need to be brought together. And there were very many women who were like what we see now, weekend parties, tabhi tha. So many women would go to clubs because they were influenced by the British style of the living. But she felt all these women, it's high time they think of nation. We will get freedom, but after getting freedom, what is the role of a woman? So she should play the role of cultural ambassador. So she should know more about what our culture is and how our family system can stay together, and how family can become the contributing factor for the nation's growth. So this was the idea, and that's when she started Rashtrodaya Samiti in 1936. And at that time, if you see, she herself was just 31 years or so, at that age, a lot of challenges she faced because she herself was a widow. And you won't believe, she learned how to ride a bicycle, because she thought that saves time to meet people. And she learned how to swim because she feels every woman, any challenge that comes in front of her, she never wanted to say no to it. And that is how she puts forth three ideals for most of the women. I personally, I'm very fascinated with these three concepts. She says every woman or every person by nature has a combination of all these three characters, or the swabhava or guna that we call matrutva, kartrutva, and netrutva. And this is beyond any gender. So there is a male who can be very caring, and there can be a female who is more a leader than just a caring mother. So this matrutva, kartrutva, and netrutva is a combination that lies in every individual. But what is very special about it is it's the percentage. If the percentage of kartrutva is more in you, you will be a good manager. You will be a good administrator. So if the percentage of netrutva, that is leader, is more in you, you will be a good leader, like Jhansi Rani Lakshmibai, or like very many of our leaders like Nirmala Sitaraman, and so on. If you have this caring nature like matrutva, you will be someone like Mata Amritanandamai, caring for everyone. Bhagini Nivedita, caring for everyone. So she says it is these three qualities that are innate in everyone, and the goal of every woman is to nurture it and contribute to the society accordingly. Next slide, please. So in this thought process, I love this very nice quote by Linda Johansson. I have personally met her. She lives in USA, and she's very much influenced by our Bharatiya philosophy, and her very style of living reflects a lot about our culture, Bharatiya culture. And she says in the past 2000 years, if you look at the Christians, Muslims, and most recently the communists, they have conspired to wipe out our memories, clean tens and thousands of years of goddess spirituality. And the moment I say goddess spirituality, it is not confined to only Bharat. Here she gives a list of other countries: Americas, Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, Central and East Asia, and the Australia. So she has written a very nice book called Gods and Goddesses and Living Goddess. So I recommend everyone to read this book. She further goes to say that, she offers this book as a small token of gratitude. And then she feels that this should be the light to, brighten the mother in everyone, and of course, brighten the very universe itself. Moving on to the next slide. Now, taking all these thought process, the current day woman, how do you think they have to be empowered? So how can they strengthen their families? Again, going back to history, if you look at any great scientist, starting from Einstein to our Modi, the Prime Minister, or Swami Vivekananda, or Sir M. Vishwesvaraya, or Sir C.V. Raman, anybody, they are inspired by their mothers. So it is the mother who saw the future. Even Shivaji was raised by his mother Jija Mata, because she wanted to see a king in him. She wanted her son to become the Hindu Rashtra Samsthapak, or the someone who will come up with it. It's the mother. If you make up your mind, you can do anything and everything. Again, if you decide not to do, even that can happen, because that is how strong a woman's willpower is. So what does an empowered woman can do? All that an empowered woman has to do is, she has so much of time, but with her nature right now, if you see, even with the ladies and women who have studied well, who are working, they have a lot of financial support. They feel very independent at financial level. But what is happening is, equally, they're also getting distracted. So they're thinking that being modern or being equal is just having fun. You're only trying to compare with outfit or with some parties. No, go further. Try to compete with your intellect. See if you can contribute much better than what the society needs. So if women start thinking in this direction, then a lot of change can happen. And this has to happen from families. So in the family, if you see, it's only the lady of the house who can bring a nice discipline in the family. It's the lady of the house who can bring a lot of harmony in the family. So it's the lady of the house again who can bring the affection, the love and care that every person needs in the family. So the moment a woman is oriented towards strengthening the family and again connecting it to the nation's growth, then nothing can stop in our nation growing very rapidly. So coming back to one more statement that I like from Lakshmibai Kedkar, she was reading the books of Swami Vivekananda, and he says, he compares the society to a bird that wants to fly high, and any bird can fly high only if both the wings are equally strong and powerful. Even if you cut one wing, the bird cannot fly, and that's what happened in Ramayana, right? Ravana only cut one wing of Jatayu, and Jatayu falls down. So this is compared to a society or a nation. So a nation can progress only if woman and a man both contribute equally to the progress of the nation. And I think this will tell us as to what big a role is. So never, underestimate, or even women should never feel very low that I only stay at home and cook. No, the food that you cook, the thought with which you cook food and serve matters. So just to tell you a very small quick story, Jijamata, when she was feeding Shivaji, every day she kept chanting, it seems, that my son should become the emperor and he should establish Hindu Savrajya. So if that thought is there in the mother, all that thought enters the food, very food we all eat, and that comes into action. Next slide, please. The status of Indian women now, if you look at the current state, of course, you will get a very mixed view. Even if you take a survey or even if you Google, the status of women is so different. The concept of being modern also is very different. And so what I would like to say is, even now, if I ask you all to close your eyes and then imagine a modern woman, how would you imagine? You always want to imagine her with short dress, lot of makeup, a short hair, right? So somewhere we are carried away by this thought. So we have to come out of this, very routine nature of thinking. So being modern is contributing. Being modern is, working in accumulation of wealth and giving back to society. So of course, in our history, we are seeing in many states where women are going through challenges like early marriage, social restrictions, they're not getting more of education. But yes, we are progressing. Women have to make up their mind. The girls have to make up their mind. We have seen very many examples where if a girl makes up her mind, she can cross through the challenges and, sail through the challenges, study herself well, and go to the position that she aspires for. The only thing is you have to have a strong will. The moment we have a strong will, this can happen. Next slide, please. We're almost concluding. So Indian women's journey towards empowerment, I feel, is more with the self-determination, the self-discipline, and of course to have a high esteem. I request all women who, wherever I go, I always share this. No, it's not important how many bangles, gold bangles we wear, how much of diamond jewelry we adore ourselves. Even if we have 2 saris less, it is okay. But what is important for every woman in every family is the respect that she needs to get, the self-esteem that she needs to get. So the moment you earn a place in a family, the moment you conduct yourself, so everyone respects your very presence in the family, that is the greatest gift every woman can get. And that makes her, think beyond her family and contribute back to society. So a woman, along with her children, the moment she feels that my family can progress only if my country is progressing. Otherwise, it can't progress. You look at what is happening to us. 2-3 days back, we had this attack happening in Kashmir, right? The Pahalgam. And the neighboring country, if you look, we very well know who from where we are getting the challenges. So if it is a very terrorist-based country where war is always happening, do you think the families in that nation can live in peace? No. So a country's progress and the family's progress are always in proportion. They go in hand. So if we have a healthy family, only then the family members can contribute back to a healthy nation, I would say. Moving on to the last slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. So with this, I would like to conclude. So we have the 4 ashramas in our thought process. That is Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and then Sannyasa. And if you look at all other things, all other stages of life, every stage is supported by the Grihastha-ashrama, the families. So a family has the responsibility to take care of everyone around them, not just human beings, even the nature around them. So all of us, at the moment we are part of family, we have a big responsibility. We have to take care of nature around us. We have to care for the nation. We have to care for the senior citizens. We have to care for the birds, the animals, everybody. So that very caring nature and attitude is given to us from our family system. And of course, who is the heart center? It's the woman, the very mother. So if she is flying or moving ahead in the right direction, the entire family moves in the right direction. Thank you so much for your patient listening. If you have any questions, please, and comments, please feel free to ask me. I'll try my best to address it.
Parimala ji, thank you so much. It was very knowledgeable session, absolutely. And I've learned a few things myself that I wasn't aware of. Having grown up in the US, there's a lot of historical knowledge that I lack, so being in India now and having to visit India for the last 10, 15 years, I've been learning and adding a few nuggets to my historical knowledge, as well as my ancestry knowledge in India. But I want to just comment on one subject that you mentioned, education for women, right? Education has always been the top most priority within my family and the culture that I come from. And, again, having grown up in the US, I haven't seen the difference between, sending a son to school versus a daughter. Education holistically is the same for all kids in the US. Having been in India, it has progressed a lot, but it has not been the same, So 25 years ago, when I got married, and I want to share a little story, I came into the new family home of my husband, and my father-in-law was having a school built in their village in India, and it was a all-boys school. They had donated their land. They come from a agricultural background, and they're family of farmers. My husband is a teacher himself. So I raised a question to my father-in-law about why all-boys school. Okay? And he was a very strict individual and very noble, but yet very strict individual. And he's done a lot for the community in the village that he comes from. So he's very well respected. And for someone to raise that type of question to him, especially a new daughter-in-law, right? It was shocking for him. Yet, he took a few minutes silence, and at that point, I was a bit scared, and doubting myself if I've asked the right question to him, or should I even have asked this question. And he had no answer for me, and he didn't respond back to me, and he just sat. And then he got up and he left. And I thought, okay, maybe I should not have asked him that question. A few months later, my first visit to India, after being in the States for almost 30 years, I visited my husband's home for the first time. And they had taken me to a tour of the village and the family members that are in the village, and they took me to the school. And I said, oh, all boys school, of course, right? And I wanted to find out why all boys school, right? The answer I did not get from my father-in-law. I was hoping I get from the local people that live in the village. And before I could even get to that answer, they took me to another plot of land, which my father-in-law had donated to have an all-girls school built. So the biggest learning for me is, one is it just takes one to ask the right question, or to communicate what's missing. And second is, I believe, that back in the old days, families were huge. Parents had, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. The economic situation was not all that well because of having such a large family and providing for the large family, and it's just one person providing. Well, the role of a mother was hidden inside the house and not exposed externally. It didn't show the empowerment or the significance of the role of a woman, because it was indoors and now outside in society. Forwarding, 50 years, 60 years, ahead, now you see that role in the forefront. You see mothers driving, whether it's a two-wheeler, whether it's a car, dropping kids off to school. Before they drop the kids off to school, they prepare the lunch, they pack the lunch boxes. So they still do the hidden activities and chores and that role inside, but now that role is also visible outside. So the empowerment of women and how the role of a woman has changed, is all because of visibility, I feel, from my experience, and I think the biggest empowerment is that if families and if the spouses of those women support the women, society will do too, right? So it's no longer not the norm now. The new normal in society now is that women are multifunctional, multitask individuals who, can do much more, who has been doing a lot behind the scenes, but now, they can contribute so much back in the society because of the strength and the courage that they already have within them, and another quick story that I want to share, and these are all my learnings and experiences from being in India. I was learning how to drive the two-wheeler in India when I first came, and this was 4 years back. And everyone in the village, they all came out of their houses like a celebrity has come. And I felt so humbled, because I said, oh my God, they're coming out of their houses to see me drive a two-wheeler, right? Later, I realized that it's not because an American driving a two-wheeler living in a village. It's because I'm a woman and no one has driven a two-wheeler. That's not the norm, because again, women do most of their work and they show their power indoors. That is not displayed outside the house of what they're capable of doing. So a few weeks later, I saw 5, 6 women and the husbands teaching them how to drive the two-wheeler, So again, the lessons learned for me from that was it just takes one person, as you rightly mentioned, all the great, wonderful women in our history, starting from Jhansi Rani. But for me, the women that were part of the the great movement in India, who supported Gandhiji, was his wife, Kasturba, Kusumba, who supported the Iron Man of India, Sri Vallabhbhai Patel. These women who believe in other women, who encourage women, and who encourage women through education, which is no longer and should not be a privilege to only certain individuals or gender. Education is for everyone, and I'm not sure if many of you know the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel started the Charotar Vidya Mandal in Gujarat. Charotar, the word charu, is in Sanskrit, it means beautiful, and so he started with the land of greens, a farm, and he built a educational institution ground within Gujarat, and it was the very first of the private sector education that was started in all of India, and he had started that. So I think it was a great foundation, and I think we've come a long way when it comes to education and the role of a woman in India. And I like the word empowerment only to encourage women to come out of their houses, not so much as, empowering women to be women, because I think women were playing that role from day one. It was hidden, and I'm glad that we see a lot of women outside contributing in the social front nowadays as well. So thank you. Sorry, I might have taken some more time than I should have. Janvi,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Parimala ji. It's true. Today's session is not about listening, it's about connecting. You truly connected our hearts, and thank you for the wonderful presentation and inspiring talk. And thank you, Nimisha Patel, for your reflections and insights. Participants, I think the feedback form has been floated in the chat window. Request all of you to fill your feedback about the session.
Yeah, please, all your questions, comments, suggestions are welcome.
Great session, and thank you so much for the invitation. Very humble to be part of this session. Thank you.
So as Nimisha ji was telling, what I felt was, I have heard this one statement, which I remember every time I'm made to think about women. So there is this very nice statement which says, the problem of women continue to persist and exist so long as men try to solve them. So long as women wait and want men to solve them. So the moment, like Nimisha ji was saying, women make up their mind, solutions automatically come, and then we are all set to address the challenges and move on. Thank you. Any questions you all had?
So we had a couple of questions, Parimala ji, already. I think I can read out for you. 1 minute. So some of our volunteers have sent already questions in the WhatsApp group instead of here. So today corruption is very rampant. maybe minor or major one. It is extremely difficult to survive who is on dharma mark. It happens that several times, even though we are not involved in corruption, but turn blind eye to corrupt people. But according to dharma, the person who is quite too adharmi is a more sinner than corrupt person himself. So what path to choose and how a mother can bring up her children? This was a question, very wonderful, beautiful question from Dr. Rekha. I think you can take it up.
Yeah, sure, Ji. A wonderful question, very important question, and a challenging question also. Like you said, if you look back to our very own lives, what makes us very unique or contributing to society is the values and principles we believe and live those values throughout our life. So from the beginning, it is the mother who instills such values and principles in our lives. And like you said, if the mother is clear about what is important in life, a lot of things fall in place. So as a child is getting nurtured and raised by the mother, so it's the mother who tells what's right and what's wrong, what to do and what not to do. How do we go about it? So if the mother stays firm, a lot of things fall in place. But sometimes if mother feels, or the lady of the house feels that she's not, having enough freedom to express herself, or she herself is not very clear about what has to be done, that's when we are having the challenges. And everyone feels ki baki bahar sab aisa hi hai. So that is the only convincing answer that we think of or we look for. So if we stick to the values and make it important, even now, if you go to any interview or any of our discussions that we have in our activities or in our organizations, we ask the teachers or the women who are working outside, between raising your salary and self-respect, which one you want to choose? Most of the women say that no, we want to choose self-respect. Even if we are getting a less salary, that is fine. But we want to ensure that we are respected and we are not insulted by our at workplace or at home or at family. So all these values have to be taught to us, and I think women have to ensure that this is happening. Whether she is a mother, grandmother, granddaughter, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, irrespective of the roles we are playing, behind all these responsibilities, we are that one woman, we are that one female. So if we make up our mind and nurture all these values, that will stay along in the young minds. So a nice request is that every lady should have this priority, that you have to value principles in life. Wealth automatically comes. So between wealth and value, what is important is what we need to be clear about. And it's not easy because it's very challenging. And all of us nowadays, we look at getting quick money, quick comforts, quick success. So if that is coming in the way of losing self-esteem, disrespect, then do we really have to choose it? So right, in Karnataka itself, I ask very many youngsters whenever we go to colleges and interact with them. If Vijay Mallya comes in front of us, do we go to him, take an autograph from him and ask how he ended up cheating people and made money? No. So if Virat Kohli comes, we want to go take his autograph, right? So if if Sunita Williams comes, we want to really go and talk to her. If Arunima Sinha comes, we want to go respect her for climbing the Himalayas with both her amputated legs. So if this comes in front of us, then that gives us the value. Coming back, we have to stick to values and principles unconditionally and uncompromisingly. Only then we can see the change.
Yeah, very good answer, Ji. So the second question I have is, rest of the questions you have already covered as part of the topic. Some 8 to 10 questions came. Most of them are covered, and Nimisha Patel Ji has also complimented what you told already. So I think it was like we don't even need to ask for separate questions. The second most important question is, do you know about Chavi Rajavat, who was a corporate high flyer who chose her hometown over the corporate ladder? And she went on to change the whole village And she eventually everything related to village, built a reservoir, all those things. So in that context, how a woman can balance between the family and her personal thing, especially how to get the cooperation from the other side with respect to social pressure and home upbringings. People coming from different families, settling, making them understand only 40 years goes. So this is a point that was told. How did you manage it in that context? Because I see that in your life, you were able to balance. Both of them are in different direction, but over the weekend, everybody come together, and still you are able to spend time with your family. I see you are going to her grandmother's place, your grandmother's place, Venkatesh travel. So how this balance you are able to bring it so that your life can be an example for others? Please help us.
I'll try my best to share few things. So being an example, I do not know. Back at home, my mother also was working. She served as a government school teacher, and she served for 38 years. So she also comes from a very humble village background. And my father used to work in Bangalore, Karnataka High Court press section. So since both of them were working, they ensured they gave so much time to us. Never I felt, and I have 3 elder brothers, so we are 4 children. I'm the youngest in the house. And though I'm the only girl, it was me who used to come home late every day when I was working. And my mother never questioned me. And always, my 3rd brother and me, we were like, rival siblings. And he would always tell me, how come you are not asking Parimala anything? And if I come late, you question. And my mother would answer saying that I have more confidence in her than you. So I don't mind her coming home late. And, so that is how we were raised. And since my mother was working and I have enjoyed life. I used to be ABVP Karyakarta back in college. I used to bunk colleges, go to my mother's school, take money from her, go to a movie, go to a meeting, everything. So wherever I go, I used to tell my mother and go. And she would appreciate that honesty in us. And that's what made us, bond very well. And never have I felt that I wish my mother was at home making chaklis or kodbales or, mithais for me. No, because she gave us quality time. Every day after coming home, my mother and father, both of them did the cooking together. And my father would mix food and give it to my mother. And she would feed me when I'm studying or doing some other work at home. This happened till one day before my marriage. So she was, giving me that much of affection. And I felt I should be doing the same to my children or my son. And though we both were working out, I ensured that there is someone to take care of him. And the moment we come back home, all 3 of us spent a lot of family time. And whatever we discuss is shared with my son. Even all our online shopping, everything, we take his review. And he decides what to buy for the house. So the moment you give them that freedom of, buying things for the house, he's so economical. He thinks like a business person only, whether it is worth buying for this house. Do we have to invest so much money? Even to buy a TV, he checks and he calculates and he buys. So that's how we all share responsibilities. And this has really helped me. And I take his tips for my speeches, for our organization work. During pandemic, all of us, I think, learned how to use Zoom or Google for the first time. So he was all excited. He was in 8th grade. And he fixed our old computer, which we had brought from US. And he started using that. So, if we encourage them and give them that freedom, they become responsible. So this is my mantra. Freedom comes with responsibility, or responsibility comes with freedom. So, and freedom, responsibility, and affection, and mutual respect in the family. I think that is the 4 pillars which can sustain the family and the nation.
Nice to hear, Pamelaji. Thank you so much. I think we are end of the session. I would request Ramji for a out of thanks for today's session.
I think I would like to thank Parimala ji and Nimisha ji for this wonderful session. I would, after hearing from both of you, I think about my own marriage actually. During the marriage, there was a yoke, a symbolic yoke we will keep. That yoke is there in the bull, fastened around the bull. So 2 bulls in between. Yoke is nothing but a wooden plank that is kept in between 2 bulls. So both of the things should complement each other. If one goes faster than other, or if the other goes or other breaks down, then the entire bullock cart breaks down. So the family, this particular topic, Ghar se Rashtra, is about yoke actually. So the symbolic yoke in our Vedic mantras with the prayers, it is kept in each and everybody's head, especially the woman's head. The men need to keep during the marriage. So I wanted to tell the meaning is our life is not about enjoyment. It is about soul. The purpose of our life is working for the betterment of both the souls, and that soul should work for the betterment of the another soul, that is our mother cow, because we need to feel the pulse of our mother. We need to see, every woman need to see the sufferings of our mother as well as our mother's mother, that is native cows. If we see her as a woman and if she understands her sufferings, then no mother will suffer in the future. Today the mothers are suffering because that mother we ignore. This mothers are suffering. So I would request all of you to consider talking to your partners. We go for a movie, we press them for a movie ticket. For IPL, watching IPL, I can see we pester around and we can go, we tell to our thing, why not service to the society? This point, if we are able to convince our husbands on this whole front, automatically, or our family, then automatically our nation will change. Unless the woman doesn't change, the nation doesn't change. I would request all of you to please help develop our nation with Parimalaji's inputs and Nimishaji's compliment. Namaste. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much. Hope I did justice to whatever you had suggested.
Yeah, Ji, very much.
It was very insightful, Parimala ji.
Beyond that, Ji.
Very happy to be part of. Learn so many things.
Yes.
Especially to the women's group, Sri Lakshmi, Janvi, Vijayalakshmi ji, Nandini ji, and all other Geeta ji, all others who have worked, Ramakrishna ji's wife, Uma ji has joined, Sri Devi ji has joined. Many of our volunteers have worked in the background for this. I would Nalini has also joined from Coimbatore. So Bhuvana ji has joined, Bhuvneshwari ji. So the point is, everybody can come together and host similar sessions in our places. This is our thought. And namaste. Thanks for your guidance.
Definitely, I would love to give them some points and ensure that they are going to speak next. So I want our Janhavi to speak next, and all of them should pick up this topic. Anything you need from my side, I'm willing to.
Numbers actually, 5 people come also. At 5 we need to target, or 1 person comes also, that 1 we need to target and make them jump and contribute. Yes. Karyakarta Nirman is what Parimala ji emphasizes. So emphasize, empower and enable.
Yes.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Stay everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Parimala ji, Nimisha ji, and all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Parimala ji, even my wife joined the call with the other name. Swapna, if possible, switch on the video.
Swapna, hope you liked it. Do share your comments.
I think she's on mute.
Swapna ji, you can come on video also. I think.
So he is enabling his wife to unmute.
Actually, in the beginning, I thought she's in different town, actually, in mother's place. In the beginning, she joined a bit late, so I could not introduce in the beginning. Yeah. Okay.
So one of the greatest support of GoPals is Swapna and Ramakrishna ji's wife. So both are helping in them leading the whole front. That's how these kind of sessions are possible actually.
Yes.
So
On the lighter note, I'll quickly share one small joke that really happened. So in Bangalore, to one of our government schools, which was adopted by Youth for Seva, and a head goes there to conduct training programs. We had invited the scientist, retired scientist from ISRO. So he had come and we had introduced, he had come with his wife and both were sitting in front of the students. And the person who introduced, very meticulously introduced the scientist. He has achieved so much in the research field. Now he is with us. He'll be talking to the students. And after some time, he started talking to the students. And when the vote of thanks time came, one person asked the wife, because she was sitting next to him all through the session. Now, actually, he asked to, literally test her, we do not know. So he asked, what is your contribution to, in his life? So this, that lady's comment, that Amma's comment is so inspiring for me. So she just thought for a while and she said, I let him do all that he did. I let him do the research. I never interfered in his research time. I never demanded that he should come to me to the market. I never expected him to buy things for the family. So I let him achieve and get all the awards that he got now. That was only one line she said, and the entire crowd kept quiet. So so I remembered this when we were all here.
That is actually true, G. So if women lets, only then men progress. And it's the other way also, vice versa. If men
I want to tell that. Yes, it's both the way.
It's both the way. So true. So true. So everything ends up in us prioritizing. Like our Subramanyam Ji, whatever comes in his 1, 2, 3 priority, Gomata is there. Yes. So similarly, in our priorities, whatever we keep 1, 2, 3, only those 3 things happen in our lives. So if it's family, if it's work, then third one has to be Gomata. So sometimes the 3 to 1 will keep changing the order, but they will remain as priorities throughout our style of working. So for me, it's the same thing: family, of course, and our work, and 1 or 2 things. So only those 3 things get 1, 2, 3 position, which keeps changing. So that's one thing I always believe in. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So,
Parmalaji, please suggest some books. No, you are reading.
Yeah. If it is related to women, there is this book called Bharatiya Woman by Swami Vivekananda. Okay, then there is one more book called Indian Women and Indian Culture by Nivedita Bhide.
Nivedita Bhide. Yes.
Nivedita Bhide. Maybe I'll take pictures of all those books and share it with you. Then womanhood, ancient womanhood and womanhood during the various stages. Even this is by Ramakrishna Publications. So even they are very good books. So even, especially Sharda Mata, the way she has faced some challenges in her life, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's wife, amazing they are. They are all really like our, I would say, a mark to look up to, a standard to look up to. So these are some of the books. I'll share the list with you. And especially this Linda Johansson's, both the books are good. Living Goddess and Gods and Goddesses. So both the books are good, written by Linda Johansson. And she has written in a very nice, simple English. Even the current generation can read that. And for some young readers, even Devdutt Patnaik's book Sita is also good. It's a good read. And there is one more book on Draupadi that is also very nice. So Sita and then Draupadi, these 2 books are also very good. I'll share all the authors' names. Right now, I'm not able to remember. With the pictures, I'll share.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Vijayaka, nice presentation.
Thank you. I should thank Lakshmi Ji for it. Sorry, Lakshmi Ji, I made you help me on this. Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, my daughter is saying she is a little volunteer as part of GoPals, so I'm very happy to hear that.
She's not little, might be little, but she's the one who does a lot of encouraging. So I've seen her in 3 events.
Very nice it was.
Very unreal. Yeah.
Unreal.
So it's like
Janvi
it's like
also.
in this event there is nothing called age limit. We are learning from kids a lot. Whenever I come, like even including the rangoli. So the moment that Nandini Amma puts the rangoli, they come up with the powder to color it. So it's really a good teamwork and nice. We are enjoying. Let's do more and more in
Sure.
upcoming.
Yeah, great presentation, Janvi ji, Vijayalakshmi ji.
Yeah.
It's nice work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. Dhanyavad.
Then
Thank you, Nandini Ma. Bye, everyone. Bye, Punish.
Bye. Namaste. Good work, Janvi. Geeta ji. Namaste.